This is my first ride on the brand new NXS.
For me, as a true all-round kite surfer, the NXS is by far the most exciting new kite release of the year. The idea behind the NXS is basically to combine the Nexus, X-Lite and Section into one single kite. When it comes to replacing the X-Lite and the Section, I wasn't worried at all. The Nexus, however, had me a lot more concerned. The Nexus was an outstanding freestyle kite, and in this vlog I'm sharing my very first freestyle session on the NXS to find out whether it's just great for waves and foiling or if it can actually deliver when it comes to freestyle as well. So, here we are. I'm ready. Everything is packed. We have a bit of wind, hopefully enough for 13.5. And yeah, this is how the brand new NXS looks like in 13.5 square meters. Let's go set it up and see how it goes. So, I'm ready. My brand new NXS 13.5 is ready as well. It looks very, very nice for now. Not so stretched than the pace, that's my first impression. And this is also what I would need for freestyle and foiling. Shit wind. Okay, a bit softer on the bar feeling. Definitely it is. Okay. Very consistent pull, at least for these kind of tricks. Holy! Very different from the Nexus. Very explosive pop, but then it kind of decreases the power instantly. I didn't expect that. Combinations are nice. It kind of keeps the pull consistent after the landing, which is nice. Unfortunately, the wind during my first session was a little too light for bigger and more powered tricks. So I squeezed in another evening session later on and managed to score some stronger wind. I flew the kite on the Sensor 4 Pro bar with a low V and set the wingtip connection to maximum bar pressure. This combination makes the kite feel more direct and provides much better bar feedback. One thing that stood out to me right from the start was how incredibly intuitive the kite felt. Before even going into a trick, I already had a pretty good idea on how much line tension and pressure I was going to have throughout the move. That's actually quite unusual. Normally, whenever you get on a new kite, there's always a period where you're trying to figure things out. You don't really know how aggressively to edge, how fast to approach the trick, or how the kite will react once you took off. As a long-time Nexus rider, the NXS felt surprisingly natural from the very first run. The bar feeling is slightly softer than on the Nexus, but as you can clearly see in this example, the two wingtips visibly twist relative to each other when steering the kite. That's an extremely valuable characteristic for freestyle riding and contributes a lot to the kite's handling. A little side note that's not really important but might be a fun fact for freestylers: because the wingtips are black, the kite actually has a bit of a sea kite look from the rider's perspective. Of course, the NXS is anything but a true sea kite, but visually it gives off that vibe. What really stood out to me was that the NXS delivers noticeably more lift and hang time than the Nexus. It also releases the tension differently after takeoff. On the NXS, the pressure fades away more gradually and continuously, whereas on the Nexus, the slack tend to come more abruptly in a single moment. I actually find that especially beneficial for unhook grabs, for example. Now, a week later, while editing this video and looking back on those sessions, I can think of significantly more things that I preferred about the NXS than things I preferred about the Nexus. At this point, I believe the NXS is the better freestyle kite, at least in 13.5 meter. That being said, I've only had the chance to test the 13.5 meter version for freestyle so far. If any of you have already ridden the smaller NXS sizes for freestyle, I'd love to hear about your experiences in the comments. Thanks for watching and peace!